here at IHCDA. We are meeting pursuant to this board's policy for participation by members of the IHCDA Board of Directors in board meetings by simultaneous electronic communication. This means that only 3 members must be physically present at the site of the meeting and the remaining members may call in. There will also be an audio feed for the general public so that members of the public can listen to the meeting, and there will be a link to a video recording posted on IHCDA's website next month. At the time the motions are being made, each board member that makes a motion must state his or her first and last name for the record. The votes will then be tallied by roll call. I will now take a roll call of the board members to confirm the members who are present and their location. Ann Valentine, designee for Lieutenant Governor Suzanne Crouch, in the room. Mark Pascarella, designee for State Public Finance Director Dan Hughey.
Present in the room.
Abby Reddy, designee for Treasurer of State Daniel Elliott.
Present and in the room.
Board member G. Michael Schopmeyer.
Present by virtual in Evansville, Indiana.
Thank you. Board member Andy Place Sr. Not on. Board member Tom McGowan, also not available. We have a quorum. Yes. First item on the agenda. Everyone has had the minutes from the May 23, the May 23rd, 2024 board meeting to review. Does anyone have any changes or corrections? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion to approve.
Mark Pascarella, move to approve.
I'll be ready. Second.
We have a motion on the second. I will call the roll. Mark Pascarella.
Aye.
Abby Reddy.
Aye.
Michael Schopmeyer.
Aye.
Chad Grote. Did I not call your name? Oh, for the love of God.
Present in the room.
Backing up. Chad
His
Grote
mere
is
presence is
present
enough.
in the room. And
Aye.
aye. Ann Valentine, aye. The motion carries. Good Lord. Thank you. Next up, I'm going to get better at this. I swear. Please welcome James Wells, who will present the Home Community Housing Development Organization's CHODO Pre-Development Loans Blue River Services, Inc. Board Memo.
Madam
Hi,
Chair,
James.
Board, good morning.
Morning.
Just a little background. First, welcome. My name is James. I will be presenting the recommendation for the Home CHODO Pre-Development for Blue River Services. A little bit of background into the Home Investment Partnerships Program. This program allows for the development of affordable housing for low-income households. Within those regulations, CHODOs, which are certified nonprofit organizations that meet those regulations, have 2 types of funding for pre-development loans available to them. The first, which is being recommended today, is a site control loan, which can be used when a site has not been acquired to assist the CHODOs in those early stages of development. The second being a seed money loan, which can be assessed once the site has been acquired to cover pre-construction costs. For the process to begin, applicants will submit their applications to IHCDA on a rolling basis until those funds for CHODO pre-development activities have been expended. The staff reviews the applications to ensure that they align with the home regulations and that the organizations meet the federal definition of a CHODO. Once awards are awarded, they come with an interest rate at 0% on a repayment term of 24 months, which can be repaid from the construction loan or other program project income. For Blue River Services Incorporated requests, they are requesting $30,000, which is the max that can be requested for a CHODO pre-development loan that will assist them in architectural engineering fees and engagement of the development team costs for a rental new construction development being proposed in Lanesville, Indiana. This development, for which they plan on applying for funds in a future home application round, would provide 8 new units of affordable housing for the residents of Harrison County, Indiana. And more details are in your board memo under Table A.
Great. Thank you. Do we have any questions for James? Seeing none, we will hear your resolution.
Okay, Madam Chair. Staff recommends the approval of home pre-development loan funding in the form of a loan in an amount not to exceed $30,000 to Blue River Services Incorporated as set forth in Table A. Staff respectfully request the board approve the following resolution. Resolved that the board approves home pre-development loan funding in the form of a loan in an amount not to exceed $30,000 to Blue River Services Incorporated as set forth in Table A as recommended by staff.
Board, we have a resolution. I will entertain a motion to approve.
Mike Shopmeyer, given we were just in Harrison County, I would move for approval.
Do we have a second?
Chad Greiwe, second.
We have a motion and a second. I will call the roll. Mark Pascarella,
Aye.
Avi Reddy,
Aye.
Michael Shopmeyer,
Aye.
Chad Greiwe.
Aye.
Ann Valentine, aye. The motion carries. Thank you, James.
Thank you, board. Have a good day.
Next up, please welcome Peter Nelson, who will now present the 2023-2024 Program Year Home Investment Partnerships Program Award Recommendations Board Memo.
Good morning, Board.
Good morning.
Yes, I am here today to recommend our annual home competitive rental round funding. James did a good job explaining some of the background of the home program overall. This round that I'm recommending today is specifically our rental construction round that we hold annually. So for this, applications were due on March 18th of this year. Before that, we offered a webinar to update any potential applicants on changes to the policy and offer some technical assistance as well. For the round, we received a total of 11 applications. Each of these was received and reviewed, scored by our staff, making sure they met the requirements outlined in the home rental application policy. So they were all checked for completeness and making sure they met all of our threshold requirements, and each applicant was given the opportunity to respond to any of our concerns, address any clarification items we needed, or technical deficiencies in the application as well. So organizations also before the round were eligible to apply for CHODO certification before submitting their application. Any CHODO certified applicant is able to request up to $500,000 more than the maximum allowable grant for non-CHODOs. And they're also eligible to request CHODO operating funds with the application. So 10 applicants applied in this round to become CHODOs, and we were able to certify all 10. Of those 10, 8 ended up submitting an application. I will say I'm very excited, every single one of our applicants for this round was certified as a CHODO. That's the first time I can remember that happening in this round. So it's very exciting that we were able to do that.
Peter, I just want to make sure, because I just want to make sure I've got this right.
Yes.
The memo says it's 11 that applied.
11 applications applied, 10 applicants applied for CHODO status.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Appreciate the clarity.
That was a good question. So yes. So of the 11 total applications that we received, we are able to fund 8. You can see kind of in the breakdown here, just over 11.7 million I'll be recommending. Of these, 7 of the applications requested our development fund loan. So we'll be recommending just over $2.6 million in that as well. And then 5 of those CHODO applicants were eligible to receive the CHODO operating funds. So those funds are, they're tied to a home project award, but they are specific to an organization. So you'll see in the table A, there are a couple of organizations that have applied or are being recommended for 2 awards for home. They're only eligible to receive 1 operating award per year. So there's the difference in that. So for the benefit of anybody that doesn't have the memo in front of them, I did want to quickly read, or anybody maybe watching at home, I did quickly want to read through the applicants that we are recommending. So we are recommending today Hand Inc. for Stony Creek Duets in Noblesville, Housing Opportunities Inc. for MC Eastside Apartments in Michigan City, La Casa of Goshen for Schutz Apartments in Goshen, La Casa of Goshen for 107 Lakeview Drive Apartments, also in Goshen, New Hope Development Services for Oakland Gardens 2 in Oakland City, New Hope Development Services for White River Landing 3 in Petersburg, Radiant CDC for the Lofts on Avon Avenue in Avon, and Roush Inc. for Bellevue Village Apartments in Scottsburg. So unfortunately, we only had about $12 million available for home funding this year, and we received more in applications than we could fund. So we do have 3 organizations that applied that we were not able to fund. So the 3 lowest scoring applicants are ineligible for funding. They just unfortunately didn't make the cut. We will offer explanations to these applicants and offer them technical assistance if they were interested and able to apply in a future round. So with that, I am making the recommendation to fund the amounts as listed in Table A. And before I read the resolution, I am happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from the board? Okay, we'll hear your resolution.
Staff respectfully requests the board approve the following resolution. Resolved that the board approve home funding in the form of grants in an aggregate amount not to exceed $11,721,000. Development fund loans in the aggregate amount not to exceed $2,664,500, and home Chodo operating supplement funding in the form of grants in an aggregate amount not to exceed $250,000 to the applicant set forth in Table A and is more particularly identified in Exhibit A as recommended by staff.
We have a resolution. I will entertain a motion.
I'll be ready. Motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
Mike Shopmeyer,
Chad Riley,
second.
Great, we have a motion and a second. I'll call the roll. Mark Pascarella,
Aye.
Bobby Reddy,
Aye.
Michael Shopmeyer,
Aye.
Chad Greiwe,
aye.
and Valentine, aye. The motion carries.
Thank you.
Next up is again Peter Nelson,
How exciting.
who will now present the Home Investment Partnerships America Rescue Plan Program South Bend Resi Board Memo.
Yes, thank you. So this is another of our home ARP recommendations. As the board may recall from my previous presentations on this, the home ARP funding was awarded through the American Rescue Plan. IHCDA received about $54.5 million. We set about $32 million aside specifically for the construction of permanent supportive housing with a focus on persons experiencing homelessness. So we did release an RFP to select teams specifically for these funds. We ended up selecting 10 teams. This one is the 8th application we received for funding. Total development cost of this project is $7.35 million. They are requesting $7 million in home ARP funding and a $250,000 development fund loan. This is a project by the South Bend Heritage Foundation. They will be constructing 22 scattered site single family units. They are 1, 2, 3, and 4 bedroom units developed on vacant lots throughout South Bend. So able to target individuals, families, all across the gamut of the needs in South Bend. So that's very exciting to see. As well as we don't see a lot of scattered site single family homes for permanent supportive housing. So it's exciting to see some integrated housing throughout the communities as well. So with the scattered site, the case managers, service providers will be able to go to the residents, to their home to provide any services they may need. And each project site is within 2 blocks of at least 1 bus stop and within 1.5 miles of grocery stores, schools, parks. So residents can get around pretty easily, pretty quickly to where they need to go. So this project concept was developed by South Bend Heritage Foundation during the 2022 Indiana Supportive Housing Institute. And they are also requesting a $50,000 home ARP nonprofit operating assistance. I would say it's very similar to the Chodo operating we just recommended, but home ARP does not specify whether or not they have to be a Chodo. It can go to any nonprofit organization that is applying, I assume, kind of for ease of use with this program to make sure the funds get quickly out the door. So with that, I am making the full recommendation of the $7,250,000 of development fund and the $50,000 in operating funds. Happy to take any questions.
Board, were there any questions for Peter? Seeing none, we will hear your resolution.
Thank you. Staff respectfully requests the board approve the following resolution. Resolved that the board approve awarding $7 million of home ARP funds in the form of a grant, $250,000 of development fund in the form of a loan, and $50,000 in home ARP nonprofit operating assistance to South Bend Heritage Foundation, Inc. for South Bend Resi as recommended by staff.
We have a resolution. I will entertain a motion. Do
I'll be ready. Motion to approve.
we have a second?
Mark Pascal, second.
We have a motion and a second. I'll call the roll. Mark Pascarella,
Aye.
Bobby Reddy,
Aye.
Michael Shopmeyer,
Aye.
Chad Greiwe,
Aye.
and Valentine, aye. The motion carries. Thus concludes the Peter Nelson portion.
Thank
of the
you.
meeting. Thank you. Next up, please welcome Nicole Chapman, who will now present the Project-Based Voucher Award for Supportive Housing South Bend Resi Board Memo.
Good morning.
Good morning.
In addition to what Peter just described, South Bend Heritage Foundation also applied for PBV, project-based vouchers for South Bend, and they are requesting 22 project-based vouchers. The award is contingent upon the environmental review, release of funds, and subsidy layering review. My recommendation is that the board approve 22 project-based vouchers to South Bend Heritage Foundation for South Bend Resi for a period of 20 years based on the annual fair market rents for St. Joseph County. Are there any questions?
Do you have any questions for Nicole? Seeing none, we will hear your resolution.
Staff respectfully request the board to approve the following resolution. Resolve that the board approve an award of 22 project-based vouchers to South Bend Heritage Foundation for South Bend Resi for a period of 20 years based on the annual fair market rents for St. Joseph County as recommended by staff.
We have a resolution before us. I will entertain a motion to approve.
So moved, Mark Pascarella.
Second, Mike Shopmeyer.
We have a motion and a second. I will call the roll. Mark Pascarella,
Aye.
Abby Reddy,
Aye.
Michael Shopmeyer,
Aye.
Chad Greiwe,
Aye.
and Valentine, aye. The motion carries.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nicole. Next up, Jim Flatford, who will present the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families Rapid Rehousing and Homeless Prevention ESG Recipient Round Funding 2024 Board Memo.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I was going for the longest title. Of the
I'm afraid I think you win today.
I'm here to talk about some TANF funding that we were awarded from the FSSA for homeless prevention and rapid rehousing. And this is going to be the first of two rounds of funding that we run. This round was limited to just the ESG recipients. This funding lines up very well with the Emergency Solutions Grant operation style, kind of the same regulations. And so we ran a application round. We've received 16 applications. All of those met threshold requirements for funding. And the table A in your packet there has the detailed funding list, recommending awarding their full requests that would be $3,096,104. There's also a map in your packet there that shows the COC regions that were funded in this round, and was pretty happy with the spread here. We don't have ESG grants serving the whole state, so I knew we weren't going to get everybody with this TANF round, but pretty good spread there. And then, like I said, we will be running another round in July that will be open to all nonprofits serving homeless and rapid rehousing and homeless prevention programs. And that will be open to everybody, so hopefully we'll get more play in the state.
Thank you for the map.
Yeah.
I always appreciate that. Do we have any questions? Seeing none, we will hear your resolution.
All right. Staff respectfully requests the board approve the following resolution. Resolved that the board approve awarding an allocation of TANF rapid rehousing and homeless prevention funds for the 2024-25 program year in an aggregate amount not to exceed $3,096,104 to the organizations as set forth in Table A as recommended by staff.
We have a resolution. I will entertain a motion to approve.
Move for approval, Mike Shopmeyer.
Do we have a second?
Chad Greiwe, second.
I will call the roll. Mark Pascarella,
Aye.
Abby Reddy,
Aye.
Michael Shopmeyer,
Aye.
Chad Greiwe,
Aye.
and Valentine, aye. The motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Next up, please welcome Richard Harcourt, who will present the Honey Creek Village Bond Recommendation.
Madam Chair and Board, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm here to ask for approval to issue $23,800,000 of tax exempt financing to support the Honey Creek Village project. This is a multifamily project located in Terre Haute. It's rehab, 149 affordable units. You all approved this project in the Marathon November 23 session. So as part of that approval, this is just the issuance of the request for the issuance of the tax exempt indebtedness. Terre Haute, Indiana, the developer is Brinshore Development. I will stop and take questions.
Any questions from the board?
Only comment is conduit issuance, so it's not on the backs by IHCDA.
Great.
Thanks, Mark. I should have said that. Thank you.
It's in bold, but I've
Yep.
stated.
Yep. I should have mentioned that. Thank you.
Okay, we'll hear your resolution.
Staff respectfully requests the board approve the following resolution. Resolve that the board approve the Series 2024 multifamily housing revenue notes, Honey Creek Village project pursuant to the resolution attached here to as Exhibit A and is recommended by staff.
We have a resolution. I will entertain a motion to approve.
So move, Mark
Schottenheimer.
Pascarella.
Second, Mike Schottenheimer, having been born in Terre Haute, Indiana.
You know what? I should have let you have that one.
That's
We
okay.
learn, but that's not, you were raised outside of Muncie. We always get a little
I've
information
lived in
about your.
three regions of Indiana, so
Excellent. We have a motion and a second. I will now call the roll. Mark Pascarella,
Aye.
Abby Reddy,
Aye.
Michael Schopmeyer,
I
Chad Greiwe,
Aye.
and Valentine. Aye. The motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, please welcome Brennan Gerard, who will present the Single Family Mortgage Revenue 2024 C bond recommendation.
Good
Oh,
morning.
you were quick. You were ready to go. You knew your cue. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam
Good morning.
Chair. Good morning, Board. I'm Brennan Gerard, the Controller and Director of Accounting for IHCDA. As you are aware, a significant portion of our business is to help first-time home buyers achieve home ownership by providing loans that have 6% down payment assistance as part of the loan. The way we do this is by issuing debt to buy and own these mortgages. Due to sustained high volumes in the affordable housing market, we are here today to request permission to issue a third series of the bonds. This will look very similar to the last 6 to 7 quarters. For this offering, we are anticipating around $200 million in borrowing and will likely be a 50-50 mix of taxable and tax exempt. This mix aids us in our efforts to preserve volume cap. Also, this debt is non-recourse debt to IHCDA and does not impact the general fund. Last quarter, we inserted language in the resolution that gives us the flexibility to refinance our variable rate debt. We have left that language in the resolution. As a reminder, our amount of variable rate indebtedness is minimal, and 75% of it is hedged against interest rate risk. We have a call option scheduled in July on some of that variable rate debt. Currently, the interest rate swap is generating a modest income for us, so we do not intend to refinance. We will continue to consult with our advisors and IFA on the swaps and will only refinance if it makes monetary sense for IHCDA. At this time, I will pause for comments or questions.
Comments or questions from the board?
Yeah, is that in here that per the usual process, IHCDA reached out to the IFA, so the IFA was able to review at least what they're planning on doing in structure, and we have no issues. We think they're doing a great job. They did mention about the swap that is coming up with a call option. But again, as we talked about it, they would only do something with that swap, whether they terminate it, is if it made sense for IHCDA monetarily. But right now, like I said, it's in the money, so it's actually performing well for IHCDA. So they're covering all their bases, they're doing a thorough job, and they're keeping the IFA well informed, which we appreciate. So that's the only comment I have.
Good. Mr. Schopmeyer?
Yeah, Granted or Mark, you mentioned our volume cap. Remind us or me what that volume cap is for our agency.
The grand total, appreciate that.
Yeah, maybe Rich knows.
221 million
Okay.
at the moment.
And the volume cap I know is done through the IFA office, and we provide that through a calculation. And what IHCDA is doing is they're trying to maximize their ability for volume cap. So if you issue taxable, obviously taxable is not part of volume cap being used. It's only the tax exempt portion that is. And while rates are where they are at, and depending on how much they're able to generate from doing their issuance of their bonds, they're able to actually maximize the value while still using taxable. So hence why they use the taxable piece. They can reach their cap while using taxable bonds, which again preserves the volume cap for down the road.
Thank you, Mark.
So our volume cap's based upon the entire state of Indiana, right? It's not, because we're a quasi-governmental agency, it's still based upon the total capacity on the state of Indiana, correct?
Yes, it's done at the IFA level, and then there's reasons for what you can utilize volume cap for. So therefore, the IFA determines how much they're going to be handing out to prospective agencies.
Got it.
Okay, we'll hear your resolution.
Thank you. Staff respectfully requests the board approve the following resolution. Resolved that the board approve the issuance of the 2024 Series C bonds and the related bond documents and disclosure documents as substantially final in the form presented, and authorize any authorized officer to execute the same as recommended by staff.
We have a resolution. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Move to approve, Mark Pascarella.
I'll be ready. Second.
We have a motion and a second. I'll call the roll. Mark Pascarella,
Aye.
Abby Reddy,
Aye.
Michael Schopmeyer,
Aye.
Chad Greiwe.
Aye.
Ann Valentine, aye. The motion carries. Thank
Thank you
you,
very much.
Brennan. Next up, please welcome Tom Pearson, who will present the homeownership program update presentation.
Good morning, Board. Madam Chair, Board, thank you for allowing the Homeownership Department to speak and present during Homeownership Month. Here we go. All right, my name's Tom Pearson. I'm the Director of Homeownership here at IHCDA, and I will present our team towards the end. I'd like to present the information first to let you see what they have been able to accomplish over the last few years. So who are we? Well, the state years ago put together IHCDA with the purpose of helping individuals obtain home ownership and sanitary housing throughout the state of Indiana. We provide mortgages, down payment assistance to help individuals purchase their homes, particularly first-time home buyers. We're in all 92 counties of the state, and to utilize and get our word out about us, we utilize lenders, realtors, community agencies, and nonprofit organizations. One thing that was mentioned just a second ago with taxable and tax exempt issuance of bonds, we're restricted on some of our programs set by the IRS. And with that, it comes into play with first-time home buyers, income acquisition limits, and other things such as that. We currently basically have two setups. Our bond financing, which was just mentioned that the $200 million will be utilized towards, and then our TBA program. And in some of the slides coming up, you'll see the shift between these. And what makes it so nice of having two avenues of programs is dependent upon the market. IHCDA, if one program or one financing type is not working, we can move over and adjust to another type of financing to be able to continue to provide constituents here in the state of Indiana an opportunity to purchase a home. So on our bond side, as Brent alluded to a minute ago, we offer a down payment program of up to 6% down payment assistance. The maximum amount an individual could get is close to $33,000, so it's a very generous program. But it should be noted that it's done through bond funding. No state or federal funding is received to the agency for these programs. Another thing they implemented in January is we went from a 9-year forgivability period to a non-forgivable period. Now, you could say, well, how does that help the borrower? Well, they're
Yeah.
still getting 6% down payment assistance with no payments or interest having to be made until they either sell, refinance, or pay off their mortgage. We also offer a refinance program. This is brand new to IHCDA. About a year ago, we put together a focus group. We were kind of going through a transition period of programs with the higher interest rates in that, looking forward, what do we need to do to stay competitive? Jake had the wonderful idea, well, put together a focus group, hear what the individuals throughout the state would like for IHCDA to provide, and if that was doable. So from that, we came up with the refinance program. The refinance program will only be for IHCDA programs, specifically the First Step program. In case rates would drastically drop, we do want to have an outlet for constituents or borrowers to be able to get out of a higher interest rate. So that's where that derived from. Our last program, and it kind of shocking from the focus group, is an interest rate only program. It's been years ago since we've had a interest rate only program, and many of the individuals that participated in the focus group said that an interest rate program only would be attractive for us to offer, so we have implemented that as well. And our interest rates are competitive with those that are on the street. So that's our bond side. On our TBA program side, that is our tried and true since 2012. The funding, you'll see on the next slide, it basically comes from the general fund. And from that, we offer 2.5% or 3.5% down payment assistance. It's forgiven after 3 years. So the two big distinctions between these two programs, the bond is tied directly to the indenture. It follows IRS guidelines, meaning it's conforming. First-time home buyer, like I said, income acquisition limits. There are purchase price limits and income limits. There's also a max that an FHA, such as IHCDA, can make off that, set by the IRS, and that's 1 1/8. So that is our program. It's more of a piece where we earn an interest rate indefinitely. Whereas the TBA, it comes from the general fund. It's a mortgage-backed security, so it's sold on the secondary market as soon as we purchase it from the lender. It follows more along the lines of state statute being non-conforming. You do not have to be a first-time home buyer. There are no acquisition limits. However, there are income restrictions up to 140% AMI. And it should be noted that for both of these programs, a home buyer education is required. We want responsible home buyers ready to purchase a home, not just somebody going in and purchasing a home and not understanding what they're getting into. Along with that, a FICO credit score of a minimum of 640. That falls in line with a debt to income ratio of 45%. If they go higher than that debt to income ratio, we will allow up to 50%. The FICO score must go up to 680 then. All right, so getting a little bit deeper into the bond versus the TBA, if you look at the chart here, in 2018, you can see that TBA loans outperformed production-wise our bond. And you can see in 2019, they were kind of neck and neck. 2020, you see that TBA really took off. Well, what's the difference here? Well, the feds came in during the pandemic and started buying mortgages on the secondary market, which lifted or reduced the interest rate and made it more attractive for us to be able to offer the TBA program at a lower rate than the bond. Well, then 2021, things started to level out a little bit more. And then you could see the drastic change in 2022 and 2023, which is carrying forward into 2024. The feds decided to liquidate their balance sheet of their mortgages, and in return, they're selling them on the secondary market, which has driven the interest rate up on that side. I want to note that it doesn't show, but if you went back to 2014 to 2016, it would be an inverse of 2022 and 2023. It would be look almost exactly the same. Very, very little bond volume, but very heavy TBA volume. As I said in the beginning, we serve all 92 counties, and we have strived to reach all areas. Many times it's hard to reach some of the rural areas and allow them to know that we have programs available to help them purchase a home. And we've made our outreach program a deliberate piece to hit all areas of Indiana. And you can see the fruits of our effort here. This right here, you can see that we've averaged about 70 some counties throughout the chart. But in 2022, you could see that we really jumped up. In 2023, we hit 89 counties. Now, the good thing is for 2024 year to date, we've hit 87. So we fingers crossed that one of these days we could possibly hit all 92 counties and provide a mortgage in all of those. The other thing that I mentioned at the very beginning is how do we do it? Well, we do it through participating lenders. And once again, through our outreach efforts, you could see that in 2020, 2021, approximately 70 participating lenders offered our programs. Well, then in 2022, it really increased to 92. And in 2023, last year, we had 104. In 2024, we are off to a great start at 94. That is the majority. However, throughout the year, what you'll see is several others will carry on, so that number will increase. And one thing to note about this, in a time of consolidation between banks, mortgage companies, or whatnot, we're increasing the number of our participating lenders. So the team's done an excellent job in the outreach efforts. Going to what Brennan was requesting a minute ago, there is a piece that goes along with all these mortgages that we are doing, and that is an increase in indebtedness. And you could see that throughout the last few years, the staggering increase. You could see in 2024, by the time we add another $200 million, we will have outpaced 2023 for the entire year, with an expectation of one other issuance, the 2024D, later this fall. So it goes hand in hand with the production, though. Mortgages purchased year to date. This is another pretty interesting slide. You could see that the volume has increased over the last couple of years, and in 2024 year to date, record volume. However, if you look at 2022 and 2023, you'll see that it dropped off from 2021. We have been kind of anticipating a slowdown in the mortgage industry, and each year, in 2022 and 2023, 2022 and 2023, January production was very flat, and then it will all of a sudden shoot up. So you'll see in a future slide the record production that was done in 2022 and then proceeded in 2023. But to be noted on this, and this goes with the debt issuance, 1,424 mortgages purchased this year. We're on pace to hit right close to 3,000 mortgages. This goes into the year-to-date volume of the amount of mortgages that have been purchased. The average mortgage amount. This is another interesting one. If you look back in 2018, and this goes to the appreciation of home values, and it also goes hand in hand with a big issue that IHCDA faces, and that's affordability. You can see that 122,000 or 123 approximately in 2018 to on this chart of 172,663, a staggering increase. However, year to date, for 2024, we are right at $183,000. So another $10,000 increase over last year. Through these efforts, we have provided a lot of down payment assistance to help individuals. Currently, year to date, we're right close to $15 million through end of May, which is a lot of assistance to help individuals throughout the state. And it should be noted, as before one of the beginning slides, this DPA is no longer forgiven. So that $15 million will come back to IHCDA in the future. And then end up with the very last slide. And this is the one that the team is really proud of. As it started out, we said that we're assisting low to moderate income individuals. Well, with this slide right here that you can see, 76% of the individuals that we are assisting are at 80% AMI or under. Only that small sliver is above 80% AMI. And to give a little bit of insight into that, 100% AMI in 2018 was $66,600. So you could clearly see $33,300 at 50% AMI. And then in 2023, 86,800 with a 50% AMI at $43,400. So we are clearly assisting individuals out there that might not be able to purchase a home under normal circumstances. We've heard many stories of individuals saving their entire lives to save up. They have the credit score, they have the job history, they just do not have that liquidity to purchase the home. So IHCDA steps in, and as you saw, $15 million so far in DPA. Before I introduce the team, any questions from the board or comments?
I mean, I'll just kind of ask you to maybe touch briefly on the fact that when we look at the bond side and the TBA side, on the bond side, we're issuing a lot of debt, as you can see that from the graphs. But in the end, the way the sausage is made, it buys mortgage-backed securities that therefore then pay the debt service. So therefore, I guess I just want to reiterate that that is not debt service that's coming out of the general fund.
Correct.
And I think that's important to mention. And then with the TBA side, you're funding with the general fund, but at that point you're selling into the secondary market relatively quickly. So therefore, again, it's not like the general fund is going to be exposed for a 20-year or a 30-year mortgage. So when we see all these numbers, sometimes it comes eye-popping. So I guess I want to just mention it for the record that this is not a situation where as you see debt rising, we're thinking that the general fund's in danger. This is a situation where those are isolated and siloed in a way that protects, I think, the general fund. So, I mean, unless I stated something wrong, I guess
No.
Put that out there.
Very well stated, thank you. And not to get our bond counsel riled up. If there was a run and these mortgages were paid off on the bond side, basically have a cash cow on your side. You will receive all that money back to pay off that occurring bond debt. But guess what? Just right there in DPA alone coming back is close to $15 million year to date. So, yeah. If the board's okay, I'd like to introduce the team.
Please.
It's done an amazing job.
Thank you.
Mary Ann Frapps, you guys would stand. Mary Ann is instrumental. She has done a wonderful job. She's our operations manager in leading the effort of the outreach and keeping our pipeline clean. One thing that should be mentioned, our turnaround times are very, very good, 24, 48 hours. Also, Dolores Sisney. Dolores is our veteran. She's been here close to 20 years. Very, very well on the customer service side. Works with our accounting department as well as an intermediary between them. Robin Stovall, our outreach manager. She leads the effort. She is throughout the state constantly, so you might see her out there. Luis Flanmeyer. Luis is one of our new ones. He's one of our bilingual individuals. Scott Stiles, he is a realtor, so he's able to give a little bit of insight with the real estate side. Kaylee Witcher. She's new with us, but she comes from Fairway Mortgage. So she has many years background on that side. And then Jaquan Johnson, JJ, who needs some round of applause. He's our intern. And in a very short period of time, he came in and conquered the slides and did an amazing
Great job.
job and has learned a lot about homeownership and that. So JJ up there. And with that, I'd like to thank the board once again for allowing the homeownership department to present.
Thank you.
Thank
Great
you.
work. Next up, Executive Director Jake Sipe providing his executive update.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I do want to mention June is Homeownership Month, and I want to echo everything Tom said and congratulate our team. They do outstanding work. The relationships that they've built across our state with our realtors and with our mortgage loan officers in the last few years is really positive. And it's nice to see they've worked really hard on developing those positive relationships. And also, I know Tom touched on it, but the customer service that they're providing for our lenders at closing with our realtors and helping identify the right products for our homeowners. So it's been just a great team to work with, and I'm really proud of the work that they've done. And as part of all that is celebrating Homeownership Month is June. So yeah. With that, relationships that we have, oftentimes we're asked to go out and speak, and I did attend and speak at the Indiana Association of Realtors Housing Summit that they had up in Fort Wayne earlier this month. I was on a panel, but also had moderated another panel as well. So again, I think that's really enjoy those opportunities when we get a chance to go out and meet and have a great conversation across our state on homeownership opportunities that IHCDA provides. So last month at the board meeting, I mentioned the 2025 general set aside that we have for our tax credit program, which allows 10% of the credits, basically 2 deals, to be identified in an innovative way at our discretion at IHCDA outside of the normal competitive round. I mentioned we had a survey that we did with our partners across the state. The number one response that we had was for us to focus on preserving our existing affordable housing that needs rehab, and that would also be at a competitive disadvantage during our regular round. So that was the direction we were kind of charged to go with based on the survey. We also followed up with another survey to really kind of talk about the process that we use. Should we just include that in part of the round? Should we put together a panel to evaluate these? And the number one response that we got, recommendation from the public, was to have a separate preservation round with some scoring categories and priorities around those that can demonstrate that they're at a disadvantage outside of our qualified allocation plan. So our plan is to have a special round, probably with applications being due sometime in November, for preserving our existing affordable housing that could be at a disadvantage for being competitive. So we're planning to release some additional guidance on that here in the next month or so. Last thing I want to mention here real quick, and I want to call them out and ask them to stand. They have no idea I'm going to do this, but it's our interns. I know JJ was already has been recognized for his great work. He comes into the office every day and is very passionate about the work that he does, especially with our homeownership team. So I want to thank JJ. JJ's from Indianapolis, so thank you, JJ, for everything you do. So Melina Fisk is our intern with our government affairs. I know there she is right there. She is working with our government affairs team, and she's from Franklin. Madison Miller is working with our real estate team on the allocation side. She's from Indianapolis. Carolyn Chen, I see her there, she's smiling. She's from Fort Wayne. She's working with our real estate team on doing some data analysis. And then Caleb Brummett is working with our communications team. Is she here? No, she's not here. Okay. She's from Carmel. And then also Zach McDougall is not here as well. He's on vacation, which I don't know why we approve vacation for our interns, but apparently we do. He's our legal intern, and he is from Martinsville. So Yes, so those are our interns. We have 6 interns. They're doing great work. I'm really proud of the work that they're doing. Yesterday, we did some site visits across the city, looking at visiting some of our existing properties on the affordable side, and then also some of our creating places that we've done. So they had a chance to actually go out and see the work that's being done. Just real quick, on the next board meeting, July 25th, it'll be here on the 8th floor.
8th
The 8th
floor.
floor,
8th
right
floor.
here,
I
same
remember.
spot. However, we are looking to go back on the road again in September. So I'm working on some of the details on that. So the September board meeting, we're planning to go on the road with that meeting, but I'll give some additional details more next month.
Great.
With that, Madam Chair, I'll turn it back to you.
Excellent. Is there any other business to come before the board today?
We'll pass around the resolutions for signature.
Great, thank you. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Who are you?
Mark Pascarella, I think.
Do we have a second?
Vice
I'll be
Chair
ready
Meyer,
second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 We
Aye.
are adjourned at 10:51. Thank you, everyone.